What's he building in there? What the hell is he building in there? He has subscriptions to those magazines. He never waves when he goes by. He's hiding something from the rest of us. He's all to himself. I think I know why. He took down the tire swing from the pepper tree. What's he building in there? And what's that sound from underneath the door? He's pounding nails into a hardwood floor. And I swear to God I heard someone moaning low. And I keep seeing the blue light of a TV show. He has a router and a table saw. And you won't believe what Mr. Stitches saw. I heard he was up on the roof last night signaling with a flashlight. And what's that tune he's always whistling? What's he building in there? What's he building in there? We have a right to know.
Well, you can see since the last episode we progressed the ceiling all the way to the back. The first little segment in this episode will be finishing off the ceiling.
I was raised in the country, that's a natural fact. Food on the table from the garden out back. Everyone working to make the land their own. Red clay cracking where the silver queen grows. Running with your cousins from yard to yard. The living was easy, but the playing was hard. Didn't have much, nothing comes for free. All you needed was your family. I am a country girl. I've been around the world, and every place I've been ain't quite nothing like living in the South. I wanna shut your mouth. I am a country girl. I am a country girl.
Hey, let's talk about the floor cross-section for a second so y'all know what goes into that. The bus came with a 5/8 subfloor. It's a 5/8 piece of plywood. So that's what started out. Say this is the steel chassis floor of the bus. There's a 5/8 plywood subfloor, and that had been nailed into the steel chassis of the bus. I went ahead and put a this is a Mule very thin aluminum, basically a radiant barrier on top of that, stapled it in, and then put another 5/8 plywood subfloor down to leave enough as a nailer. So that's 10/8 now. Face nailed that in with 1.25 inch nails out of a normal pneumatic nail gun. Then laid another thermal barrier. This is basically a radiant infrared barrier on that, stapled it down, and then we laid this really thin sort of foam subfloor material down on top of the radiant barrier, stapled that down, and then on that goes the final 3/4 inch subfloor, which has about a 1/4 inch of cherry, and that's glued to 7 plies of birch plywood. This came from a company called Uptown Floors. That's basically an Amish company. The wood is cut down in Pennsylvania. It's all milled and dried in Ohio. It's where their factory is. And then they make it as you need it. Like Whataburger. They don't make it till you order it. So they made this up, 500 square feet of cherry flooring. 4 3/4 tongue and groove, normal. Everything's normal. And then this goes down on top of that, and that's about 2 1/4 inches thick. I'm nailing the normal flooring into the subfloor using a normal pneumatic nail gun. It shoots these 2-inch cut nails. I'm not using staples, I'm using these cut nails. It's an L-shaped nail with ridges. Basically shoots it into the tongue. Doing that every 10 inches, every 12 inches, 8 inches. And that's going to hold the flooring to the subfloor. Probably more information than you wanted, but that's the floor that's in this bus. Substantial piece of construction, but between the 2 5/8 plywood, a radiant barrier, another radiant barrier, and a very small spongy thing that's mostly for sound. It'll also give a nice little foot feel to the flooring. I think that'll be a nice floor that's going to last a long time. Even if this bottom 5/8 layer of pine plywood gets a little bit bad, it'll be a long time till it works its way up through all these layers to the subfloor. All right, thank you.
Dark, you can sometimes hear your own heartbeat or the heart of the one next to you. And the house settles down after holding itself up all day. Shoulders slump, gives a big sigh. You hear no one's footfall in the hall. Drip in the kitchen sink keeps marking time. June bug on the window screen can't get in, but it keeps on trying. One way or another, we're all in the dark. Fireflies and sparks and lightning and stars. Campfires, moon, headlights on cars, the northern lights in the Milky Way, and you can't see that stuff in the day. The earth turns its back on the sun, and the stars come out, and the planets start to run around. Now they call that day is done, but really it's just getting started. Some folks take comfort in that. How dark is it? It's too dark for goblins. And how dark is it? Man, it's so dark you can smell the moon. How dark is it? It's so dark the wind gets lost. How dark is it? So dark the sky's on fire. How dark is it? So dark you can see Fort Worth from here.
So, you see what we got here? We got the original plywood floor, some Reflectix, another 5/8 plywood floor, more Reflectix, and then some of this subfloor spongy stuff. It'll be a little bit of a sound barrier and kind of give the floor just a little soft foot feel. What this is a starting nailer. I've marked the center line of the bus. We'll place this face on the center line. That'll be the first board against this face. We'll nail the first board, nail the second course, pull the nailer up. That way we can nail the first, second, third of the course going that way. So then all the slop ends up on the end of the bus against the outside wall. We can put that under the trim. So I'll go ahead and flip it back to time lapse while we screw this down, and then we're going to start just laying out the floorboards just to get them placed, get the seams right, get the colors right.
Tell that tongue out but its roots. I feed it to the mouse around the chicken coop. Says to come running to sound alarm. It's selling a henhouse and there's blood in the barn. And now a damn fox does what a damn fox does, a sneaking and a stealing and a looking for buzz. The rooster is a devil with some talents and a comb. The sun comes up, it don't crow and moan. Oh, the fireworks started on the 4th of July. You place your bets on which one dies. The fox is a killer, the fowl's a maniac. They favor small faces to Fleetwood Mac. Hey, 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 mama better let that gravy simmer. Daddy gonna be a little late for dinner. Feathers are flying around a farm. They're selling the henhouse and there's blood in the barn. Now there's a shed out back where Grandpa's been. He's waiting for the South to rise again. Don't light a match if you go inside. Smells like had a calling for malgide. Boy, he's been in this world for a pretty long time. He says 2 nickels ain't worth a dime. He's slow as molasses, he's wrinkled and mean. He don't like Yankees or lima beans. Well, a blackbird swiped him a pocket knife. He don't care much for the neighbor's wife. She called him a rube, a cracker and a menace. The worst he ever was a Silver Venice. Well, it fell in cahoots with a rock and roll band. He turned up drunk and tattooed in Japan. He couldn't commit wholly to the devil's side. His ink reads 665.9. Hey, 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 mama better let that gravy simmer. Daddy gonna be a little late for it.
Well, we got this side done from the center over. This face represents the center line of the bus. We've done this side now. What I'll do is I'll turn it back into time lapse. I'll take out this nailer. This is just screwed in. And then we have to put a spline the length of the bus so that the female can go into female. I couldn't find any spline. It's weird. So I had to make it. So I just took some 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 and just made 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch spline that goes into the female. Sticks out, basically makes a tongue, and then you can just progress to the outer wall. So I'll go ahead and pull out this temporary nailer and then proceed to the outside wall.
To the rooster and the damned old fox. One of them's dead like a car on blocks. Grandpa's a cussing, sister's about to cry. The blackbird says he was baked in a pie. Oh, yelling and a squawking and a screaming and a bawling. The phone is a ringing and the preachers are calling. I can't talk now, there's a ruckus at the gate. I guess salvation's gonna have to wait. Oh, mama better let that gravy simmer. Daddy gonna be a little late for dinner.
Alrighty then. That was a pretty good lesson in how to lay tongue and groove flooring, especially in a bus. Episode 7, it's going to be about framing walls, and I think we'll get into some roughing in of electrical, wastewater, and hot and cold water. Thank you so much.
I was born in the country, that's a natural fact. On these long city days I wanna look back to see tobacco fields, a row after row, red clay cracking where the silver queen grows.